Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 52, Social Proof, the 7 levers of influence. This is number 3 of the 7 levers of influence. Social proof is kind of like this picture images, but it's also exactly what you think it is. I don't know if they still use this, but the phrase, it's what the cool kids are doing. So what happens is in any socially ambiguous situation, in any situation where we're not clear as to what we should be doing, we look to others around us to decide how to behave. This is where leaders and followers are actually born. So if you're willing to be brave and be thought of as a nut, you might find yourself becoming a leader. Doesn't mean you'll be a good leader or a bad leader, but if you're one of the first people to act in a novel, ambiguous situation where people aren't sure how to behave, they will tend to follow your lead, or it only really takes one person to follow your lead. And then as soon as there are 2 of you, it increases the credibility of that behavior being the appropriate behavior, the right behavior. So that's one of the advantages to being the first to do something, obviously. But that's really all social proof is. It's looking around to others to decide what we should do in a given situation, especially and usually when we're uncertain what to do. So the way this obviously works is social media is a giant, sometimes or all too often, pathetic and needy version of social proof. But anytime somebody shows anytime any page shows the number of people in a group, the number of people are participating, that's social proof. It says, see, this many people are participating. So this is why it's really, really important in terms of your marketing. You want to show participation of other people. It's the same reason why you see in Zoom so many pages will say, okay, everybody, let's do a group shot. And then they do a gallery shot of people smiling and waving. It's like, see, this event makes people happy. People are happy here. There are many people here. So that's essentially what social proof is. It's a pretty simple concept. But when you can share a behavior associated with or associated with your product or associated with using your product, other people will follow. There was research done, I don't know how long ago, but this was earlier on in the internet era. I'm not sure if iTunes had existed at that time, but what they discovered is maybe not surprising. If they showed artificially or otherwise that some songs, so they essentially gave people access to a list of songs, but without showing how many people had already bought the song, it was pretty evenly distributed, right? Because these were novel songs. Nobody knew what these songs were, so they weren't famous or anything. But soon as certain songs reached a certain threshold, whether it was just naturally or artificially, soon as people could see that one song was listened to by more people, people started to flock to that song disproportionately. So that's essentially one of the most powerful applications of social proof on the internet, probably for your marketing, is to show people doing your product, using your product, having fun with your product, becoming successful because of your product. Those are the kind of things, I mean, like this picture here shows, right? Okay, everybody, what do you want to do? All it would take, and you know this, all it would take is for everybody sitting in around a circle, and if one person took off their shoes and their socks and put their feet and their hands in the middle of the circle, it's almost 100% probability that others would follow suit. That's then becomes social proof as more people do it. Another example, and Cialdini cites this one in his book, is all you have to do is go to a city with large buildings, tall buildings, and stop and look up at a building. It doesn't matter what building you look at. It really doesn't matter what floor you look at, although if it's a little further away, a little higher up, people will not know what you're doing. But all you do is you just look up at a building. And then maybe you point, and then you turn to your friend and you talk, and then you both look up. It will take no time at all, and people will start to stop and look. They won't know what they're looking for. They may ask you, but unless they're within a short distance from you, other people will see them looking, and they will start to look. So a crowd will form, and a whole bunch of people will be looking up at absolutely nothing. That's how easy it is to get social proof going. So what this means in terms of your marketing is anytime you have an opportunity to show a crowd or the number of people who are using your product or opting into your product, opting into your website, that's why, of course, it works against you at first when you have 7 subscribers or whatever it happens to be at any one time. If you have 2 views on your video, now I wouldn't go faking this because I don't know what the consequences are, but they can and should be severe. The social platforms, I'm sure, have some way of detecting that. If they don't, I guess I let the cat out of the bag. I don't do that, by the way. But when you see that 2 million people have watched a video, you go, well, 2 million people have watched it. When you see 50,000 people have bought a book, it's essentially the New York Times bestseller list, which really isn't a large number, by the way. I think it's 5,000 copies. But that is an example of social proof that that book must be good, or at least good enough for somebody to buy it. Now, here's the trick, and this is done, and this is done legally, though I question the ethics of it. Many people can guarantee, anybody with about $80,000, I'm told, can guarantee to get on the New York Times bestseller list. You just give away, I don't know whether it's only hard copies that count, but you literally just give away a certain number of your books to random people who come to your website, anybody who signs up to your mailing list, and those copies that you've purchased count towards that and social proof. So you can fake social proof, but I don't think you should. I think that should be illegal or disallowed. Essentially, that's what it is. So anytime you have a chance to show smiling faces, groups of people, number that's evidence that your product is used by a lot of people, or that the number of people that are using your product, that are engaged with your product and having success with it is growing, then that's what you should do. Hollywood does this a lot when they make crowds for, big armies or big crowds. They take a small crowd, they tape it, or they record it, and then digitally or otherwise, digitally or just even manually layering a bunch of the same people. But if you mix them together right, it looks like tens or hundreds of thousands of people, and it might have only been a few hundred. That, in a sense, is also social proof. So anything you can do where you take and show that others are already engaged with your product, others are already using, enjoying your product, the number of people using your product is increasing, people sharing it on social media and all that is also, surprise, surprise, social proof. So it's really as simple as that. Show people, and as the product initiator, as the product owner, show people how to use it. If it's cool, I saw this one with 2 guys doing like this cool demonstration with slinkies, and it's guaranteed that they bought more. So I wanted to buy a slinky, and I don't need a slinky. It's just they were really good at them, so they did their little demo, and then everybody goes, that's cool, I want to do that too. That's social proof. Straightforward, simple, the cool kids are doing it. This has been Crush It Club, episode 52, the 7 levers of influence. Lever number 3, social proof. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.